Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shail Iskandar and I'm going to explain on why we choose reducing carbon footprint in university campuses as our topic. Every day we see the cars, the buses, and the constant movement which are part of the rhythm of university life. But behind the convenience, there's a hidden cost, which is carbon emissions. It's a cost that we can't afford to ignore. Climate change is real, and its impact are no longer distant threats, they are happening now. The significant driver of this crisis is the very fossil fuels that empower our daily commutes. We as students are part of this cycle, and we need to understand our role. Our university, like many others, is a microcosm of this problem. We see the traffic congestion, we know energy is being used, but how aware are we of the actual carbon footprint? Do we truly understand the environmental consequences of our choices? And that's what we wanted to find out. This study isn't just about numbers and data, it's about understanding our generation's perspective, and we wanted to assess how well our fellow students recognize the uncontrolled release of carbon emissions within and around our campus. And more importantly, to explore their understanding of the environmental consequences of fossil fuel consumption. By identifying knowledge gaps and attitudes toward carbon emissions, we can pave the way for real change. Uh, we believe that by understanding the issue, we can empower students to make more sustainable choices. We chose this topic to find the practical solutions to reduce our university's carbon footprint and to contribute to a healthier planet.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Today I'm Ahmad Akib. I'll be talking about an issue that affects our university and the environment, which is heavy carbon pollution from university transportation. So, every day, thousands of students and staff travel to campus using private cars and motorcycles, which is it result in large amount of carbon dioxide emissions and it lead to air pollutions and also it increased carbon footprints. But what exactly is causing the problem? So we identify three that cause this problem, which is the first one is one major issue is the obvious of private vehicles. Most students and staff prefer driving instead of using public transport or carpooling, and it leads increased fuel consumption and carbon dioxide and make our campus less sustainable. Next, we have traffic congestions that the high number of vehicles that leads to daily traffic jams around campus. In addition, cars idling in parking lots and drop-off zones release unnecessary carbon dioxide and further contributing to pollution. So for the last one is another key issue is the lack of pedestrian-friendly infrastructure. Many students avoid walking because there are no covered walkway to protect them from the heat or rain. Also, important campus facilities are far apart, making walking inconvenience. So, in summary, the heavy carbon pollution from university transportation is mainly caused by the obvious of private vehicles, traffic congestion, and lastly, poor pedestrian infrastructure. If we want a cleaner and greener campus, we must take action by improving public transports.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurai Farhan binti Kuncu Ahmad, and today I will continue to talk about the evidence of the issues in Malaysia regarding the carbon footprint. So first thing first, Malaysia's high carbon emissions. So Malaysia is one of the highest carbon emitters in Southeast Asia. In 2021, Malaysia emitted 259.7 million metric tons of carbon dioxide, which means that on average each person produces 8.1 metric tons of carbon dioxide, almost double the global average of 4.5 metric tons. So what are the main contributors to these emissions? So first thing first is energy sector, transportation, deforestation and waste. So universities as large institutions play a role in all these areas. So now let's talk about the about the university contributions to carbon emissions. So first thing first is high energy consumption. So the energy sector contributes approximately 80% of Malaysia's total emission due to heavy reliance on fossil fuels. So this shows that most universities depend on electricity from fossil fuels. For example, air conditioning in lecture hall, libraries, or dormitories. Next issue is transportation emissions. So the first one is high car dependency. 70% of students and staff rely more on private vehicles rather than using public transport or carpooling. And the second one is idling cars and severe congestion. So many universities like UM or IUM, during peak hours, the campus will face long traffic jams. So this will contribute to higher carbon emissions. And another problem is idling cars. So study shows that idling for just 10 minutes can release 1 pound of carbon dioxide per car. So this will contribute to air pollution. The third one is lack of pedestrian-friendly infrastructure. Many universities, like IIUM, have limited covered walkways. So this will discourage students from walking, especially in hot or rainy weather. And this further will increase student reliance on motorcycles and car. So we will talk about the next point, which is Malaysia's effort to reduce carbon footprint. There are many efforts, but I will just talk about the Malaysia's Green Campus Initiative. So Malaysia Green Campus Initiative introduced in 2016. So this initiative encourages universities to reduce energy consumption and waste management and promote eco-friendly transportations. So does these efforts effective? Yes, it is, but there are still many challenges. So one of it is energy sector still dominated by fossil fuels. The second one is transportation remains a major issue, of course. And the third one is slow adoption of green practices in university. So in conclusion, universities significantly contributes to Malaysia's carbon footprint through high energy consumption, transportation emission, and waste mismanagement.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Marisa. So earlier we highlighted the key causes of heavy carbon pollution on campus, which are the excessive private vehicle use, traffic congestion, and poor pedestrian infrastructure. So these issues not only harm the environment, but also make commuting inefficient. Therefore, to solve this, we need a three-pronged approach. The first one is promoting public and shared transport. Second is enhancing walkability and cycling infrastructure. And lastly is by adopting greener parking solution. So the first solution is public and shared transportation. So reducing private vehicle use is crucial. A university shuttle service or subsidized public transport passes can make commuting more accessible. Additionally, it also encourages carpooling with incentives like reserved parking and introducing bike sharing and e-scooter rentals, so it can provide sustainable alternatives as well as reducing emissions and traffic. Second solution is walkability and cycling infrastructure. So walking and cycling must be more convenient. By having covered walkways and shaded pedestrian paths, it can encourage walking in all weather conditions. And dedicated bike lanes and secure parking will make cycling a safer, more attractive option, further reducing congestion and CO2 emissions. And last but not least, the third solution is on the green parking solutions. So idling vehicles contribute to unnecessary emissions. So by installing EV charging stations, it can encourage electric vehicle use, while incentives for public transport and e-bikes can promote greener commuting habits. So by improving transportation options, walkability, and parking infrastructure, we can create a more sustainable campus. So these practical solutions will ease congestions, cut emissions, and promote long-term eco-friendly habits. So that is all from me. Let's move on to the next slide.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Zishan bin Zulkifli and my matric number is 2411227. So our SDG involved is, and this SDG 13, that is climate action. So the definition of climate action is to take urgent actions in order to meet and adapt to climate change. And our target is to build capability and knowledge to meet climate change, which is target 30 Mandiri. given the problem statement with the uncontrolled increase of fossil fuel combustion, which is mainly from cars, there are bound to be climate change, such as higher global temperature, or in other words, global warming, and higher carbon dioxide emission. Carbon dioxide emission will also lead to respiratory or other health-related disorder. So from our incentive, we try to reduce the amount of vehicles on the road. We try to increase the amount of electric vehicles and the amount of carpooling, public transport. This will reduce the carbon footprint produced by each person. Hence, it is a matter of time, and we are a step away from implementing available facilities, as mentioned in our previous slides in our daily life. Now we are going to talk about the SDG covered. So first, there are two SDG covered here. There is the SDG 7 and 11. SDG 7 being about the affordable and clean energy, and SDG 11 about sustainability and communities. So our first solution about promote public and shared transportation. So first, the benefit that we can get here is that we try to increase the amount of sharing and carpooling, which directly contribute to lower the global carbon emission. And secondly, for those people who can afford electric vehicles, we can try to at least promote and make sure that they rent them out from other company or ride-sharing companies. The most famous one being Beam or Zipcar. And this also in line in target 11.2 that we make sure that the staff and students have a more convenient access to a more sustainable form of transport. So our second solution to enhance the campus walkability and cycling infrastructure, which is also under SDG 11. We can say that the current infrastructure in UAE is not sustainable because it's not support other form of transport such as walking, cycling, and other form of mobility, because most of them does not improve or does not provide enough space. So we try to ensure that this infrastructure can be improved for the pedestrian. This is also in line with SDG target 11.2, and most of the students have more access to a more sustainable form of transport, as mentioned earlier. And lastly, our third solution is to reduce idling and promote green parking solution. We try to at least achieve the second one through SDG 7. And for those people with electric vehicles, sometimes they find it hard to find the charging station. Even in the petrol station, it does not provide. So we try to install charging station at reachable spot to reduce the burden for EV users. And lastly, we try to achieve target 7.1, which to try to make sure that the university provide access to a more affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. That's all from me.